All right, so today we're going to be doing a deep dive into flight test engineer interviews.
Ooh, exciting.
One of the most, I think, demanding, but also like super fascinating fields in aerospace.
Definitely high stakes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, we've got some awesome material to work with today.
Yeah.
A career guide, an interview guide, and even some information on RoleCatcher's AI tools.
Seems great.
Let's jump right in.
Awesome.
So you want to be a flight test engineer. I mean, both the career guide and the interview guide lay out some of those core things you got to do, right?
Yeah.
Planning the tests, analyzing the data, and of course, like the big one, ensuring safety.
Yeah, it's a field where you really need to bring it all together. You need that technical knowledge, obviously, but also that ability to think analytically and communicate clearly.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a unique blend.
Absolutely. I love how the career guide kind of lays out the whole picture with this definition.
Okay, let's hear it.
Flight test engineers are vital to the development and testing of aircraft, working closely with other engineers to design and implement test plans. They ensure necessary data recording systems are in place, collect and analyze test flight data, and produce detailed reports for each test phase, ultimately ensuring the safety and success of all test operations. Their role is a crucial blend of engineering precision, strategic planning, and meticulous data analysis.
That is a perfect summary.
Yeah.
And that balance they talk about.
Right.
Engineering, precision, strategic thinking, and data analysis.
Yeah.
Those are themes you'll want to weave through all of your interview answers.
Great point.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into like the nitty-gritty, the real like meat of this deep dive.
Sure.
The interview questions.
Yeah.
You sent over 9 common questions from the interview guide
Okay.
to get us started.
Awesome.
And these are awesome examples of what you might actually encounter.
Great.
So you ready to tackle the first one?
Let's do it.
Okay, here it is. What inspired you to pursue a career in flight testing?
Okay.
Seems pretty straightforward,
Yeah.
but what are they really getting at here?
It's a bit deeper than just, I loved airplanes as a kid.
Yeah.
They're trying to gauge your passion.
Uh-huh.
Is this just another engineering job for you?
Right.
Or is there something that's really driving you towards this specific field?
Yeah. The interview guide mentions sharing personal experiences, but like you said, it can't just be, I love planes.
Exactly. Think back to the career guide and that section on the pros of the job.
Okay.
Working with cutting-edge technology, a dynamic environment, maybe even the potential for travel.
Yeah.
If you can connect your motivations to those parts of flight testing, it shows you're not just romanticizing the idea.
Right.
You actually get what the career is all about.
I see. So it's about aligning that passion you have with like the reality of the role.
Yeah.
How can someone illustrate that connection effectively for the interviewer?
With specifics.
Okay.
Don't just say you're fascinated by flight.
Right.
Tell them about a specific project you worked on or a book that you read,
Uh-huh.
maybe a mentor who inspired you, or seeing a particular aircraft on display, or even a documentary about a challenging flight test program.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, make it tangible. Make it personal.
Right.
Let your enthusiasm come through.
I love that. And interviewers often like to kind of build on your initial answer, right? So what kind of follow-up questions do you think could come from this?
They might ask how that inspiration has shaped the choices you've made,
Oh, interesting.
like certain courses you took or projects you pursued.
Yeah.
They could also ask for an example of how you've actually explored that passion.
Okay.
Maybe you joined a flying club, built model aircraft, or even took flying lessons.
Wow.
Be ready to expand on that initial story
Okay.
and show how it's led to real actions.
Awesome. Okay, let's move on to question number 2. This one is, can you explain the process of flight testing and its importance in aircraft development?
Nice.
A little bit more technical, this one.
Definitely. This is where they start to figure out how well you understand the field.
Mm-hmm.
They want to see if you can explain a complex process,
Right.
clearly and concisely highlighting the key stages and why they matter.
The interview guide specifically says to emphasize safety and reliability, which makes sense.
Of course.
Ultimately, flight testing is about making sure that those aircraft are safe to fly.
Absolutely. But it's not just about reciting steps from a textbook.
Okay.
Think of it as a story.
Okay.
You're taking them on a journey. From the initial design of the aircraft to that moment, it becomes a certified airworthy machine.
Wow.
You can talk about the different phases,
Right.
from ground tests to flight envelope expansion, and how each one contributes to that final product.
So you're essentially building a case
Exactly.
for why flight testing is so essential for this
Yeah.
whole process.
It's indispensable.
Yeah, absolutely. What elements would you say are important to focus on for like a really strong answer?
Definitely hit on those core elements, data collection analysis, and the importance of reporting.
Mm-hmm.
You can even bring up specific types of tests,
Okay.
like performance tests, stability tests, and evaluations of handling qualities.
Wow.
And always bring it back to how flight testing helps catch potential problems early on,
Right.
preventing costly redesigns or even accidents.
Absolutely. So it's about showing you get the what and the why of this whole thing.
Exactly.
Okay. Thinking like an interviewer now, what kind of follow-ups might come from this?
They might ask you to go deeper into a specific phase of testing
Okay.
or a particular type of test.
Right.
Or they might give you a hypothetical problem.
Interesting.
Something like, imagine you're seeing unexpected vibrations during a test flight. What are your immediate steps?
Oh, wow.
Be ready to think on your feet
Okay.
and apply your knowledge to real-world situations.
Okay, great. This next one, number 3, really gets interesting.
Okay, let's hear it.
It asks, how do you ensure the accuracy and reliability of flight test data?
Data.
It's everything, right?
The lifeblood of flight testing.
Absolutely. So I'm guessing this is a pretty crucial question.
It really is. This one's all about your attention to detail,
Mm-hmm.
your meticulousness.
Okay.
The interviewer wants to know if you get how important data integrity is
Mm-hmm.
and what methods you use to maintain it.
The interview guide talks about things like calibration and data validation.
Mm-hmm.
It's about showing you have a system.
Right, a process
Yeah.
to ensure data quality.
So how would you suggest someone walk through that?
Take them through the data lifecycle.
Okay.
Talk about sensor calibration, how you validate the data against predictions, and using statistical analysis to find and eliminate errors.
Right.
You can even mention specific software or tools used in the industry
Oh, good.
to show you're familiar with them.
That's smart. So it's not just about knowing the data needs to be accurate.
Yeah.
It's about knowing the entire process.
Exactly.
What would you say makes this question so important for aspiring flight test engineers?
It really highlights how much precision matters in this field.
Yeah.
Every data point counts.
Right.
Even small errors can have big consequences.
Yeah.
Your answer should show that you understand just how important data quality is
Okay.
and that you have the skills and knowledge to guarantee it.
So really driving that home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what kind of follow-up questions might dig a little deeper here?
They might ask you to elaborate on a specific validation technique
Okay.
or how you'd handle anomalies in the data.
Interesting.
They might also ask about your experience with data acquisition systems and analysis software.
Okay.
Be prepared to show off your technical expertise
Right.
and your troubleshooting skills.
Awesome. All right. Question number 4.
Okay, shoot.
How do you prioritize and manage multiple flight test projects simultaneously?
Ooh, a classic.
Yeah. This is about more than just the technical skill.
Oh, absolutely. Flight test engineers are always juggling multiple projects, each with its own complexities and deadlines.
Yeah.
This question is all about how organized you are,
Uh-huh.
how you handle pressure,
Mm-hmm.
and your overall approach to project management.
The interview guide mentions project management tools and techniques.
Right.
The importance of delegation
Mm-hmm.
and clear communication.
All connected.
Absolutely. And this is where I think RoleCatcher can come in handy.
Oh, yeah. How so?
You can talk about how the platform helps you find projects that are a good fit for your skills
Okay.
and experience, which really streamlines the whole application process.
That's smart.
And you can even mention how RoleCatcher helps you stay organized
Mm-hmm.
when you're preparing for lots of different interviews.
It's like having a personal assistant for your job search.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to subtly show them you're tech savvy
Mm-hmm.
and that you really value efficiency.
I like it.
Okay, but back to the question itself.
Sure.
How can someone best illustrate their approach to project management?
Don't just list off a bunch of tools. Tell them a story.
All right.
Describe a time when you successfully managed multiple projects at once.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even highlight a specific challenge that you overcame.
Okay.
Focus on your ability to prioritize tasks,
Right.
delegate effectively,
Yeah.
and communicate clearly with everyone involved.
So you're proving you can handle those complex situations.
Yes.
And deliver even under pressure.
Absolutely.
What follow-up questions should people be prepared for here?
They might ask about your preferred project management methodology,
Okay.
like specific techniques or tools you use.
Uh-huh.
They might even throw a hypothetical scenario at you with
Okay.
competing priorities to
Yeah.
see how you make decisions under pressure.
Oh. Okay, question number 5. Can you describe a challenging flight test project you have worked on?
Ah, the experience question?
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Classic behavioral question.
Definitely they're looking for your problem-solving skills,
Yeah.
your ability to learn from challenges, and your overall experience level.
They want a real example, not just theory.
Concrete evidence.
Yeah. The interview guide says to structure it around
Yeah.
the specific challenges, the solutions, and most importantly, the lessons learned.
It's all about the takeaways.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What would you say makes for a really good example here?
Pick something that's relevant to the job you're going for.
Okay.
And engaging for the listener. It could be about overcoming technical difficulties,
Right.
working under tight deadlines,
Yeah.
or collaborating with a diverse team.
Okay.
The key is to choose a story that lets you show off the specific skills and qualities they're looking for.
What makes this question so effective, you think, in evaluating a candidate?
It goes beyond just what's on your resume. It forces you to give real proof of what you can do.
Right.
Anyone can say they're a good problem solver.
Yeah.
But this question makes you back it up with a real-world example.
Show, don't tell.
Exactly.
What kind of follow-up questions could come up here?
They might ask you to dive into the technical details of the problem or solution you described, or they might ask what you learned from that experience and how you've applied those lessons to other projects.
Okay.
Be ready to go into detail and show you can reflect and grow.
Great advice. All right. On to question 6.
Okay.
This one is all about staying ahead of the curve. How do you stay updated with the latest flight testing technologies and techniques?
Love this one. This is where they see how passionate you are, and if you're committed to lifelong learning.
Right. Flight testing is constantly evolving, so you got to stay current.
Absolutely.
The interview guide suggests mentioning things like conferences, publications, training programs.
All great resources.
Yeah.
And the career guide actually has a whole section called Staying Updated.
Oh, that's a term.
With a fantastic list of resources.
Awesome.
Attending industry conferences, following relevant publications and social media accounts, joining organizations like the Society of Flight Test Engineers. Right.
Weaving those into your answer shows you've done your research
Absolutely.
and are serious about your professional development.
I love how the two resources really complement each other.
Yeah.
So beyond just listing those out, how can someone make their answer stand out?
Be specific.
Okay.
Don't just say you go to conferences.
Right.
Mention a recent one you found valuable or one you're planning to attend.
Okay.
If you talk about publications, name a specific journal or website.
Yeah.
The more concrete you are, the more credible your answer will be.
It's about showing you're not just passively taking in information.
Right.
You're actively seeking out opportunities to learn.
Exactly.
So what makes this question particularly significant for someone who wants to get into this field?
It highlights just how quickly things change in aviation.
Yeah.
New technologies pop up all the time.
Right.
So continuous learning is crucial for flight test engineers. Your answer shows you understand this fast-paced world.
Okay.
And you're committed to staying at the forefront. It's about showing you're adaptable and you're ready for those new challenges.
Exactly.
What kind of follow-up questions could dig a little deeper here?
They might ask you about a specific technology or technique you've learned recently,
Okay.
or how you've applied new knowledge to your work.
Right.
They could also ask about your future professional development plans,
Uh-huh.
like maybe getting an advanced degree or a certification.
Oh.
Be ready to talk about your vision for lifelong learning in the ever-changing world of flight testing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, question number 7. How do you ensure that flight test procedures and results comply with regulatory requirements?
The rules of the game.
They are, aren't they? So this one is all about the rules.
Exactly. Flight testing is heavily regulated for obvious reasons. They want to make sure you understand why compliance is so important and that you have a good grasp of all the regulations.
The interview guide suggests highlighting your knowledge of the relevant regulations,
Okay.
your experience working with regulatory agencies, and your approach to things like internal audits and compliance checks.
It's not just about knowing the rules by heart.
Right.
It's about demonstrating that you're responsible and meticulous.
Yeah, because flight testing has inherent risks.
Absolutely.
So ensuring compliance is key to mitigating those risks.
And keeping everyone safe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how can someone showcase their understanding of this really critical aspect of the job?
Start by showing you're familiar with the key regulatory bodies,
Okay.
like the FAA here in the US or ASA in Europe. Then walk them through your process for ensuring compliance.
Okay.
talk about how you stay up to date on the latest regulations,
Right.
develop procedures that meet those requirements, and do thorough documentation and record keeping.
It's a really proactive and systematic approach.
Exactly.
Why do you think this question is challenging for some candidates?
For some, it's hard to bridge the gap between knowing the rules and actually applying them. It's one thing to memorize regulations. It's another to show how you've used them in real life.
Right.
Your answer should prove that you can connect that theory to action.
I see. So what kind of follow-up questions might test that deeper understanding?
They might ask you to explain a specific regulation.
Okay.
And how you'd ensure compliance in a particular test scenario. They might ask about your experiences with regulatory agencies.
Right.
Or how you handle it when something's not compliant.
Interesting.
Be ready to give specific examples and show your problem-solving skills within the context of those regulations.
Okay, great advice. Let's move on to question number 8. How do you manage and mitigate flight test risks?
Another important one.
Yeah, this is all about managing those inherent risks
Absolutely.
that come with the job.
They want to know how you identify, assess, and control those risks.
Right.
They're looking for a structured, proactive approach, not just hoping for the best.
The interview guide mentions risk assessments, mitigation strategies, and collaboration with safety teams.
All crucial elements.
Absolutely. And remember, risk management isn't just about preventing those accidents.
Right.
It's also about ensuring the success of that entire flight test program.
Exactly. By managing risks effectively, you help keep the program on track, on budget, and meet those objectives.
I see. It's about finding that balance between safety and reaching those project goals.
Exactly.
So how can someone best illustrate their approach to risk management?
Start by outlining your general framework.
Okay.
Do you follow a specific methodology? What are the key steps you take to identify, assess, and mitigate those risks?
Right.
Then make it real with an example of how you successfully managed risks in a past project.
From your experience, what's the toughest part of managing risk in flight testing?
It's often the balancing act. Safety is paramount, but you also have to meet those technical goals.
Yeah.
Stay on budget and meet deadlines.
Wow, it's a lot.
It's about finding that sweet spot
Right.
where you can reduce risks without sacrificing the program's goals.
Okay, so you have to be strategic and balance all these priorities.
Exactly.
What follow-up questions might they ask to see how deep your expertise goes?
They might ask you to describe a specific risk mitigation technique.
Okay.
Or how you'd handle a new risk that pops up during testing. They could ask about your experience working with safety teams.
Right.
Or how you communicate risks to different people involved. Be ready to give those specific examples and show you can think critically and make good decisions under pressure.
All right. We've made it to the last question for this section.
Okay.
Can you describe a time when you had to make a critical decision during a flight test project?
Another one that gets to the heart of your experience.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Another behavioral question.
This one's all about your decision-making skills.
Right.
Especially when things are intense. They want to hear a story that shows your judgment, your analytical skills, and your ability to make tough calls under pressure.
The interview guide says to focus on the decision itself,
Right.
the factors you considered, and the ultimate outcome.
It's about the whole process.
So how can someone pick a good story for this one?
Choose something that not only shows your decision-making process, but also aligns with what the interviewer is looking for.
Okay.
Did you have to choose between two solutions?
Right.
Or deviate from the plan because of something unexpected?
Yeah.
Or make a call with big safety or financial consequences?
Oh, wow.
Pick a scenario that lets you shine.
I see. So it's about showing you can think critically, weigh your options, and take ownership of your decisions.
Exactly.
What makes this type of question so effective for a role like this?
It gives the interviewer a peek behind your resume.
Okay.
It's easy to say you're decisive and a good leader.
Yeah.
But this question forces you to demonstrate it with a real example.
Right.
It shows your judgment, your ability to handle pressure, and your willingness to own the consequences of your choices.
Another example of show, don't tell.
Precisely.
Okay, so to wrap up, what potential follow-up questions could come from this?
They might ask you to talk about the specific factors you considered, the alternatives you weighed, or the process you used to gather information and make that decision.
Right.
They could also ask about what you learned and how you've applied those lessons to other decisions you've made.
So being prepared to really delve into those details.
Yes, and show that you're always reflecting and learning.
Awesome. Okay, so that wraps up our deep dive into these 9 common flight test engineer interview questions.
Great stuff.
We've uncovered some really valuable insights.
Yeah.
And in the next part of our deep dive, we're going to explore some broader career insights.
Okay.
And how RoleCatcher's AI can help you throughout your job search.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to our deep dive into flight test engineer interviews.
Glad to be back.
As we've been going through these questions, I keep thinking back to the career guide.
Oh, yeah.
And how much it emphasizes continuous learning in this field.
It's so important.
Yeah.
Aviation technology is always pushing the boundaries.
Right.
What's cutting edge today could be obsolete tomorrow.
Exactly. So for someone just starting out,
Mm-hmm.
what steps can they take to make sure they're staying ahead of the curve?
Well, the career guide actually lays out a pretty good roadmap.
Right.
Industry conferences and workshops are amazing for networking and learning about new trends firsthand.
Right.
They often have presentations and discussions on the very latest tech and techniques.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And publications too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Keeping up with those aviation and aerospace journals and online resources.
Can't forget about those.
Yeah, definitely. And even social media.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Following those influential figures and engaging in those online forums can give you real-time insights into what's happening in the industry.
Absolutely.
And we can't forget about those professional organizations.
Right?
Like the Society of Flight Test Engineers.
Yeah.
They provide a whole network of resources and mentorship opportunities.
It's all about creating your own personalized learning plan.
Yeah.
A strategy for staying sharp.
I like that.
The key is to be proactive and consistent.
So shifting gears a bit back to the interview process.
Sure.
We've tackled some tough behavioral questions.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another type that often trips candidates up.
You're talking about those technical deep dives, right?
Exactly.
Where they really grill you on the specifics.
Yeah, you want to see if you can walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
Absolutely.
So how can our listener really prepare for those technical questions?
Okay, well, first things first.
Mm-hmm.
You need a rock-solid foundation in the basics of flight testing.
Of course.
Knowing those different phases, the types of tests, the data you're collecting, and how you analyze it.
Right. It's all fundamental.
It is.
Yeah, and understanding those specific aircraft systems that are relevant to the job.
So important.
Avionics, propulsion, flight controls. You got to be able to talk about those systems intelligently.
Absolutely, and demonstrate your expertise.
Yeah, and the regulatory environment, too.
Oh, right.
Showing you're up to speed on those latest safety standards and certification requirements.
It shows you're a responsible engineer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But beyond the book knowledge, practice is key.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Try answering those technical questions out loud.
Okay.
It helps you refine your thinking.
Right.
And make sure you can explain those complex concepts clearly when you're under pressure.
It's like a dress rehearsal.
Exactly.
For the main event.
And don't be afraid to tackle some sample problems or case studies.
Okay.
Working through those can really sharpen your problem-solving skills.
That's a great tip. What if you get stumped, though?
Uh-huh.
What if they ask something you're not familiar with?
It's okay to admit you don't know the answer right away.
Okay.
Honesty is better than trying to bluff your way through it. But instead of just saying, I don't know, use it as a chance to show your thought process.
I see.
You could say something like, I'm not familiar with that specific technique, but based on what I know about the principles involved, here's how I'd approach the problem.
So you're showing them you can think critically.
Exactly.
Even when faced with something new.
Even under pressure.
Yeah. And never underestimate the power of genuine enthusiasm.
Oh, that's so true.
When you're truly passionate about something.
It shines through.
It really does.
So embrace those technical questions.
Yeah.
See them as a chance to showcase your expertise. And let that love for flight testing shine through.
I love that. Okay, speaking of embracing technology, let's talk about how RoleCatcher can really help with interview prep.
Oh, yeah. RoleCatcher's AI features can be a game changer.
They really can.
When it comes to tailoring your application and fine-tuning those interview responses.
Absolutely. Its Beat the Automated Recruiter feature is amazing.
Tell me more.
It analyzes job descriptions to help you optimize your resume and cover letter. So you're hitting those keywords and highlighting the skills they're really looking for.
It's like having a secret weapon.
It really is.
Yeah.
And then there's the interview questions repository.
Okay, what's that?
It is a massive database of practice questions.
Wow.
Including ones specifically for flight test engineering.
Nice.
And what's really cool is that RoleCatcher uses AI to analyze your practice responses.
Oh, wow.
And give you personalized feedback.
That's amazing.
So you know what to improve.
It's like having a virtual interview coach.
Right in your corner.
Yeah.
And for those who really want to step it up, there's even a video practice feature.
Oh, wow. Tell me more.
You can record yourself answering those tough questions.
Okay.
And get instant AI-powered analysis of your delivery, your body language, and your content.
That's so cool.
It's an amazing way to build confidence and polish those interview skills.
I can see how that would be super helpful.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So if you're serious about getting that flight test engineer job, definitely check out RoleCatcher.
I will.
It's a comprehensive platform to support you every step of the way.
Awesome.
From creating a standout application to acing that interview.
It's like an investment in your success.
It really is.
Yeah.
Speaking of career trajectories, I keep thinking about the career guide and its insights into those different stages of a flight test engineering career.
Oh, yeah. It's interesting to see how the role changes over time.
Right. From entry level all the way up to those senior positions.
It's a journey.
It is. And understanding those stages and what they require can be so helpful for anyone navigating the job market.
Absolutely.
For example, those starting out, those entry-level engineers.
Yeah.
They usually focus on supporting test planning, data collection and analysis.
Right. Learning the ropes.
Exactly. Learning from those more experienced team members.
As they gain experience, they might take on more responsibility.
Yeah.
Maybe leading test flights, overseeing the recording systems, even mentoring those junior engineers.
And then you have those seasoned veterans, those senior flight test engineers.
Yeah.
They're often leading the development of test strategies,
Right.
interpreting that complex data, and driving continuous improvement within the team.
It's amazing to see that progression.
It really is. And those different stages often come with different educational and certification requirements.
Absolutely.
An entry-level position might need a bachelor's degree in aerospace engineering, while a senior role could require a master's or even a doctorate.
Right.
And those specialized certifications, like the Certified Flight Test Engineer credential, can really boost your credibility.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So job seekers need to really understand those specific requirements for the roles they're after.
Yeah.
And tailor their applications and interview strategies accordingly.
It's all about being prepared.
And remember, a career in flight test engineering is a marathon, not a sprint.
So true.
Continuous learning, networking, and professional development are key for growth and advancement in this field.
Embrace those challenges, stay curious, and never stop learning.
That's great advice for any career path, really.
It is.
Okay, so before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
let's recap some of those key takeaways for acing that flight test engineer interview.
Sounds good.
Thorough preparation is essential.
Absolutely. Understand the role inside and out. Research the company. Practice your answers to those common questions.
I can't emphasize that enough.
Nope.
And those technical aspects are crucial.
Right.
Brush up on those fundamentals, familiarize yourself with the relevant aircraft systems, and practice answering those technical questions until you're confident and clear.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
But don't forget about those soft skills.
Oh, right.
Showcase your communication abilities, your teamwork skills, your problem-solving prowess.
Those are all highly valued in this field.
Absolutely. Use storytelling, pay attention to your body language, and be prepared to answer those behavioral questions effectively.
Solid advice.
And of course, we can't forget about RoleCatcher.
Of course not.
Its AI-powered features can be so helpful in tailoring your application, preparing for those tough questions, and practicing your delivery until it's polished and persuasive.
It's like having a whole team of experts in your corner.
Right. And lastly, remember that a career in flight test engineering is a marathon, not a sprint.
So true.
Continuous learning, networking, and professional development are key for staying ahead and reaching your full potential.
So embrace those challenges, stay curious, and never stop learning.
Love it. That's fantastic advice.
Thanks.
And in the final part of our deep dive, we're going to explore some strategies for really making a lasting impression on the interviewer.
Can't wait.
Stay tuned. We're going to help you leave them thinking, that's the person we need on our team. All right, welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into preparing for that flight test engineer interview.
We've talked about a lot.
From
breaking down those tough questions.
Right.
To using those awesome AI tools from RoleCatcher.
Yeah, but now let's focus on those final touches. Those little things that can take your interview from good to unforgettable.
The icing on the cake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about showing them you're not just qualified on paper,
Right.
but that you're passionate and engaged.
Right.
Someone who's ready to jump right in.
Ready to contribute.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how can our listeners really make a lasting impression on the interviewer?
One great way is to show initiative.
Okay.
Don't just wait for them to ask about your interest in the company.
Right.
Bring it up yourself.
Okay.
You could say something like, I was really interested in your company's recent work on mention a specific project from their website or news.
Okay.
I've been following developments in mention a relevant technology closely, and I think my skills in mention your specific expertise could really benefit your team.
That's a great way to show you've done your research.
Yeah.
And you're genuinely interested in their work.
Exactly. And it subtly highlights how your skills match up with what they need.
Right. It's like connecting the dots between your experience and their goals.
Exactly. Showing them you're already thinking about how you can contribute.
Now, salary expectations can be a tricky topic.
Yeah, for sure.
Any advice on handling that conversation smoothly?
Be prepared to talk about it.
Okay.
But don't make it the center of the interview.
Right.
Your main goal is to show your value and how you can help the company succeed.
Okay.
When they ask about salary, be honest and realistic, but also emphasize that you're eager to learn and grow with the company.
It shows you're not just motivated by the money.
Exactly.
You're excited about the opportunity to contribute and develop your skills.
Right. And don't forget, RoleCatcher can help you here too.
Oh, that's right.
It can give you insights into salary ranges for similar positions in your area.
Okay.
So you can go into that conversation feeling confident and knowing what to expect.
Preparation is key.
Always.
Now, let's talk about a really powerful way to end the interview.
Okay, what's that?
Asking insightful questions.
Oh, yeah.
It's your chance to interview them. Show them you're curious and engaged.
What kind of questions should people ask?
Avoid those generic ones.
Okay.
Instead, focus on questions that show you understand the company and the role.
I see.
You could ask, what are some of the biggest challenges the flight test team is facing right now?
Okay.
Or what opportunities for professional development are there within the company?
Those are great. They show you're thinking long-term.
Exactly. And you could also ask about the company culture, team dynamics, or even the interviewer's own experience working there.
It's a chance to get a feel for what it's really like to be part of the team.
Right. And see if the company aligns with your values and career goals.
So it's like a two-way street.
It is. And remember, first impressions are everything.
Oh, for sure.
Dress professionally, arrive on time, and maintain a positive and enthusiastic attitude throughout the interview.
Those things matter.
They do. And a simple thank you note afterwards can go a long way.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It shows you appreciate their time and consideration.
And it lets you reiterate your strengths and enthusiasm for the role.
So to wrap up this whole deep dive, remember that the keys to acing that flight test engineer interview are preparation, confidence, and a genuine passion for the field.
Absolutely.
Show them you're knowledgeable, eager to learn, and ready to take on those challenges.
It's an exciting career.
It is good luck with your interview.
Thanks for all the great tips.
You got this.